father left for the East with the understanding that my mother would meet him there. That was 1934 is the date they split up in Seattle. His father, my grandfather, Archie, got him a job at Babcock Wilcox Company. That was in Bayonne, New Jersey. And he lived there and died working for the same company, very steady, kept that job, progressed, even invented an improvement on the boilers. They built the boilers for the electric company, for the battleships, and he was a company man. He just gave the patent to the company. So my father, when he married again, he had a son, which he wanted. He wanted all of us girls to be boys. My sister Arlene, Amelia Murray, spelled with an A, became an A.A. Murray, named after my father, but that wasn't a real thing for him. He wanted a boy. Well, he finally got his boy, my dear half-brother, Eugene Murray, carries on the family name. My son is Mark Murray, so not the same though. My dad married a school teacher, Jean Yorkowitz. It was shortened to York, and her family were from Galicia, Galetia, which is north of Spain. Must be a very small place. But my father continued working for Babcock Wilcox Company, very steady. Father also was always interested in civic affairs. He belonged to a lodge in Seattle, I don't know which one. And based on what he told me and what his obituary says, he made the remark that he always, whenever he moved someplace, why he would check to see which was the biggest church in town, and that would be the one that he would go to. He started out as a Baptist. I know his second wife, Jean, was a Catholic, which he didn't approve of going to that church. So I know she attended the Lutheran church for a period of time, and I think they agreed on that. And then his obituary was Methodist. So the Methodist church, evidently, in West Point was the most influential church. So it was the business part that he was interested in. He was interested in civic affairs. He was on the hospital board. Also, he had affiliation with the Boy Scouts, not only as a Boy Scout leader, but with the Boy Scouts of America, a member of the executive board. So he was a member of the executive board of the Boy Scouts. He was a member of the Chamber of Commerce and the Kiwanis Club. A lot to keep up with. Was active. He told me that he'd rather be a big fish in a little puddle than a little fish in a big puddle. So that was his attitude. Eventually, his company built a plant in West Point, Mississippi, and they had a man-made lake there where my dad would do fly fishing. They stocked it with trout. When he died, and they built a memorial to him, when I went to his funeral, they had a big picture of him in this memorial. His obituary gives the details of his death. My father was going to take an early retirement from the company, and they suggested that he stay on long enough to train somebody to take his place, and he had agreed to that. At this picnic that they had in honor of him is when he died a sudden death. He collapsed at the picnic. It was in 1965. He was 65 years old. So they had 2 memorials for him. I know there's one in Texas close to where my sister lives. And then I saw the one in West Point, Mississippi. His picture was over the lodge and very nice. He wanted to leave a good name for himself. Eugene especially treated me nice at the memorial of his death. He held my hand and made me cry because he looked so much like my father. In fact, from his profile, he looks so much like my father. My father was a gentleman. The French were loud and coarse. My father wasn't that way at all. He was very, very humorous, the things he would say. Always dressed nice, not expensive. In fact, he wore pongee shirts made of, pongee was an affordable silk. They were a light color, not white. And he had hair at this time. He eventually went totally bald, as the Murrays all are. I know I cried myself to sleep at night because it must have been associated with him coming and telling us good night. I was heartsick because my mother and father had split up. My dad made things right with us. He always made things right. I always thought of him as a knight in shining armor.